Hello world, my name is Amelia. Welcome back to another late night video. This is actually, I don't know, like maybe the second video I've ever done on my channel where I'm just kind of doing this very late at night, and just because I just want to go ahead and just do something. I don't know. So anyways, I'm going to make this one of my GCS update videos. I am 3 weeks and 6 days away from my surgery. I'm thinking I'd really like to make these videos closer and closer together as I get closer to the surgery. You're probably also going to notice I'm probably going to do more and more cell phone videos, maybe. It's really going to depend on how convenient it's going to be to do cell phone versus my professional camera. I definitely want to have it available to me, but anyways, point being. So in this video, I wanted to do a really quick was just going over real quick. One of the things that somebody needs in preparation for surgery is a shopping list of some basic things to help with recovery. Now, I'm not going to get into too much details. I probably talk about this stuff plenty in other videos. I'm probably going to talk more about it in future videos, but so this is basically, there's 18 things on here. I think there's something that's duplicate on here, but anyways, this is basically just a shopping list I made. I went on Reddit and I made a post, and I basically had asked people what their opinions were of basic recovery things. What were the things they wished they had, or what were the things they did have and they were actually very happy to have them. So I went to Walmart earlier today and I spent $71.74 at Walmart on some just pretty simple supplies. Still cost me more. I don't know, I can't really exactly say if it cost me what I was expecting, but I thought this would be a great video, a great opportunity to kind of share what I got, and because obviously as time goes on, it would definitely be one of those things where I can kind of fill in how I feel. You know, if it was the right choice or whatever. Give my opinions later. So, I'm going to go each item here. We'll try to make this brief. I have several shopping bags here. I went, by the way, I just went earlier today. I went with a couple of my friends. We just kind of shopped around. One of my friends is a nurse friend, which gave me really great, which she was able to give me input on her opinions from the medical side of things. And then my other friend is just really an awesome super friend. So the first thing that I have on the list, which of course this is fun. I'm already sitting in position. Let me try to get this real quick. Oh, excuse me, cat. Okay, so the first thing that a lot of people recommend is puppy pads. So, a lot of people suggest getting puppy pads for dilation cleanup. So something that I have to do post-recovery is dilation. I hear a lot of people talk about it can kind of vary, but usually it's very messy. It's a very messy thing to clean up. There are a couple different options. One of the big options you can choose is the actual bed, like hospital bed pads. You can also go with the adult ones. They make adult like wedding pads. Or you can just go with the basic puppy pads. Now, my one friend, one of the things she expressed, so this is the pack. That is ultimately what I got. It's a 30-pack dog training pads. I thought this was a good start for me because there's 30 of them in here, and I'll have to dilate 3 times a day. So I was thinking there really shouldn't be any reason why I couldn't just reuse 1 pad a day. You know, if it's, I could be wrong. If it's one of those things that does go faster, I do have the option of ordering more supplies. I could either place an order with Walmart.com, or I'm pretty sure I could get a friend to go up to Walmart and go get me stuff. Either way, it's definitely one of those good starter packs. You know, if it lasts me a week, 2 weeks, a month, it's fine. I'll have to figure it out as things start, because again, I don't want to like just be like buy a ton of stuff I don't necessarily need right away. So the puppy pads were these. The story pack was $10. Cost wise, it really kind of varied. I would probably say it was almost maybe a little cheaper to do the puppy pads over the actual bed liner pads that were also available. Now the bed pads were over in the pharmacy section. The puppy pads were over in the pet section, obviously. The one thing that my nurse friend was a little concerned about with the puppy pads over the actual bed pads was that all of them, all the brands right here said that they had an attractant, which made her concerned that they might not be so sanitary or hypoallergenic, I should say, for human use. I did tell her that something that a lot of people recommend is not to do your dilating directly on top of the pad, just use it more as an underliner, just to keep the messiness. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. So that was one of my items. The next item on my list, hopefully I can easily find all this stuff right when I get to it. So the next thing on the list that people always say making sure that you have a good supply of is a lube. Because obviously, of course, with dilating something, I need a really good quality lube to use for the dilators. It's kind of, so sometimes you're supplied with a lube by the doctor, sometimes you're not, sometimes it's optional what you want to use. A lot of times the doctors will give you a lube that might have some sort of antibacterial, antifungal in it or something like that. I don't hear a lot of people say have good reviews about a lot of the lubes that they get from their doctors or even just the cheap stuff. A lot of people were recommending getting the KY jelly, the KY lubes, which is a sex lube. So there was a couple different ones there. I've heard a lot of mixed stuff. I've heard a lot of stuff about, make sure you get water-based, but I've also heard people say, oh, well, but then the jelly, the petroleum-based stuff is going to be also just as fine. They are both safe, medically safe. It is a little more expensive for the water-based lube. The price, oh yeah, so it was $10 for the puppy pads. The price on the lubes, it was $6.54 for a 1.5 ounce bottle here. And then the regular petroleum was $2.94 for a 2 ounce container. So you can obviously see there is a very significant, it's more than like twice as much. So my friend's opinion, and you'll see this coming up here on another product that I had to buy, was that pretty much just go with a couple different options, give them both a try. It's not like you won't use them up eventually or something like that, she said to me. So her opinion was to just give them a try, see how they work for you, and because it's all about what's your personal comfort. Because I would say that same thing to anybody watching this who's going to probably be coming up on a surgery themselves. Just pick something, maybe take a couple options, because what might feel great to me is not going to feel the same to you. So it's not a bad idea to have that available to you as an option in case, here I am burping or hiccuping, I don't know what I'm doing. It's just a great idea to have that on the side. So that takes care of the lube. Next up, a lot of people were recommending having a bed tray, basically so that while I'm here in my bed, I can put something over my lap to use for laptop or drawing or whatever. Anything that I would normally maybe do at a table, I can then stay in bed, because that is one thing that's going to be very important, at least for maybe 2-4 weeks. I am going to have a much more restriction to my bed. So having that ability to do that, I need to make sure that I have a remote and my cell phone and laptop within easy reach. That's going to be a whole nother subject. Next up, a lot of people were recommending making sure I had plenty of pillows and blankets on my bed. I'm not worried about this one. I easily, right here behind me, probably have half a dozen pillows, a couple blankets, and then up over there on top of my wardrobe, I have maybe another half a dozen of blankets. I'm a collector. I really have a hard time getting rid of blankets and pillows because I just love comfort so much. Then the fifth item people were recommending was making sure that I had plenty of cheap panties available. I would definitely concur. I think this is a really good smart choice. I don't actually like, I have some cheap panties, but nothing that I would really necessarily I mean, I could use them. I could make sure they're washed and ready to go, but I don't have enough, I should say. So I was looking, there wasn't like really too many options as far as panties went. I did not buy a pair, a pack, because I just figured, you know what, I'll just maybe go ahead and order them on, like, I figured like maybe there was like 4 or 5 items I'd pick up on Amazon, um, especially because I was kind of trying to watch what I was spending. It ran about, I think like a 6-pack was like $10. So panties aren't like ridiculously cheap, but at the same time, I can definitely see how having cheap panties available is a great thing, because you never know if you're gonna mess them up, or how many you're gonna need to be in the wash, or etc. And especially since it'd be difficult to do wash. I Then number 6 on there was making sure you had cheap towels, because you really don't want to, when you're doing dilating and stuff like that, or you're just using towels in general for cleanup, you really don't want to get blood and other discharges on your if you have good towels. I of course don't have like any like junky towels I would love to destroy, so I did go ahead and buy towels. I just bought some really simple cotton cheap towels from Walmart. These were, I think these were like $2.78, like $2 or $3. And you know, my friend recommended getting them in like a black color, so like if I don't destroy them, it would be really nice to just then be able to hold on to them and actually make them into towels. Otherwise, it'd be very easy to just trash them if they got spoiled or messed up. So I bought 3 of those. The next thing that people were recommending was getting a non-spillable cup and straw. My friend thought that a tumbler was fine, which I already own a tumbler. And also make sure you have plenty of water within reach. Still something I'll have to kind of solve, but that's not a bad one. People also were recommending getting a wedge pillow. I myself decided to skip buying anything, and instead I was just going to use something like a throw pillow. I just figured, because you just need something that's nice and firm that can hold, so it's like when you're sitting there laying on your side, you got something to put in between your legs. Not to mention, I did have a hard time finding something at Walmart. Walmart didn't really have any options. Next up, we have wipes. So I went ahead and I just bought the cheapest. Now I did go for the sensitive wipes is what I ended up getting, because I just wanted to make sure that since we're talking a surgical area, that I wasn't going to be creating any irritation, which, by the way, that is something that was very important in focusing on what I was buying, is just to make sure that I wasn't going to be creating any irritation. So I got 2 packs of these. They were literally $2 each. So that was definitely something I could see as being important, to be able to like wipe as cleanup after dilating, or just general cleanup and things like that. The next thing, hopefully I know it's here somewhere. The next thing that people were recommending getting was making sure that you bought a hand mirror. I was hearing a lot of people talking about how when you're dilating, sometimes it can be really difficult to be like laying down and looking down there. So a lot of people were saying to get a hand mirror so that you can definitely get a nice, better view of what's going on. So there, say hi, hello to yourself. So this mirror, I think, was $4.22. So just something real simple, just to be able to um, see what's going on. The next thing people were recommending was a back scratcher. Unfortunately, I couldn't really find a back scratcher at Walmart, which that's one of those surprising things. Next up, we have just some basic baby shampoo and body wash. A lot of people recommending getting this for cleaning the dilators, just so the dilators didn't have any residues on them. I also think this is probably a good choice as something just to use as a general cleaning down in that area when you're showering and stuff like that. Of course, I already use I use a shampoo and body wash that's free of dyes and stuff like that already, so I'm probably okay. However, this is a good thing to just have on hand. And by the way, this was, where is it at? I don't see it on here. It wasn't that much. And okay, no, I don't see it. I'm not gonna waste my time. I don't know, it wasn't that much. It was like $3 or something like that. So next up, people were suggesting a painkiller. So for that, I just ended up going with a cheap bottle of ibuprofen. This was like $2 for 100 of them. I really doubt I'm gonna need that many. It's just one of those really great things to have on hand. I know I ran out of ibuprofen recently, and I was just like, you know what? Good time to buy some. So I ended up going and getting a bottle of that. After that, people were recommending Stool Softener. So I did have, honestly, I have never in my life used Stool Softener before. And when my nurse friend was sitting there trying to help me with this problem, I was sitting there looking at all the options, and it was so funny because she was literally like, well, you got this option, this option, this option, and this is going to make you feel like this, and this is going to do this. And I was like, why is there so many options? Ultimately, we ended up settling, I ended up settling on the Saline Laxatives. I got 3 bottles. They were 98 cents each, so really nice and cheap. She said you can drink anywhere from a half bottle to a whole bottle. She said the one nice thing about using the saline laxative is you will go. Like, it's almost a guarantee. And since most people I've heard that say to get a stool softener or something like that, most of them say that it's just you feel like you can't go. So I figured this would probably be the best bet. Okay, next up after the softener, we have a Doughnut-Shaped Cushion. Again, that was something I couldn't find at Walmart. I'm going to probably just pick that up on Amazon. They were saying that that's a really great thing to use for dilating. And then lastly, people were just suggesting getting a bed pads, hospital grade bed pads. Those were about $15 to $25 each. Again, I would have to get those online, and I will do some shopping for that. And lastly, this is the important thing, and it was a recommendation that I did actually get. So this is their big finale. And that is that people were actually recommending actually buying like panty liners and actual people were actually recommending buying like panty liners and actual feminine products for the purpose of being able to maintain. So I did a little shopping. I was getting the opinions of my friends, which it was really great having, having those girlfriends there to be able to actually give you their opinions on what's like the best stuff, because yeah, not growing up with that, it's definitely a much better, it's definitely an experience of something. It's like, well, yeah, you might think it's great that I'm never going to have to experience that, but it's also kind of a bummer I never experience it. In a way, it's kind of like the first and only time in my life that I'm ever going to experience anything close to it. But it's also one of those things where it's like, kind of a little validating in my opinion to be able to do it, but then it's like, it's not going to become routine. I'm just going to experience it, and then there's going to come a point my body's like, okay, we're done. So anyways, there was a lot of opinions about it, but it was again one of those things where my friend was telling me, she was just like, get a couple different options and see how they work for you, and if you need more of them, you can order more of the one that you like the most. So I got 3 different options. So the first one that my medical friend, my nurse friend, really was suggesting getting a really good heavy flow pad, something for overnights, especially when it's kind of like, well, I don't know what it's gonna, how bad is gonna be any discharge or things like that. It's really great to throw something nice and heavy on and just not have to worry for the entire night. Yeah, wake up in the morning, you're good to go. So we ended up just settling on a cheap pack of a maxi heavy overnights. These were fairly cheap. Yeah, $3.76. So there is 20 in here, which honestly is more than enough what I'm going to need. I mean, by the time I get through all of these, honestly, I'm probably not going to need them anymore. If not that, maybe just a thin panty liner. So, but this is a great thing to just get me through those first couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, when things are going to be the worst. But these are, my plan is to use these for overnight. Next up, the next 2 things I got were kind of similar. They're kind of similar in what they are. So the first one that I did get was just a simple Always brand. They're just a size 3 extra heavy flow Always. They're just, you're pretty much your simple panty liners, or not really panty liners, but just pad. Nothing really too crazy about them. Because one of the things that, and then, because I'll go ahead and jump to the next one, is we went with the Breathe. What was one of the things I was really looking for is getting something that was going to be like free of dyes and perfumes and stuff like that, which that's what this brand actually had going for it, is the fact that it was free of that stuff, free of irritation and things. Which is something that was important to me, because since we're talking a surgical area, we want to try to keep away from things that might cause irritation. Just to be on the safe side, because you never know what could happen. So we ended up just deciding to kind of go for a sample, be like, oh, let's get the Breathe ones, which are going to be free of that stuff, and then to also get the Always, which is your more basic pad. So again, these are kind of very similar in groups of what they are. But my friend was just like, get one of each, and then that way you can try one, and try one from the other box, and then because you're going to maybe need more of these, like I said, these are probably more of your basic. So not a bad idea. There is 22 in the Always box, and then the Breathe came with 28, which honestly, I definitely shouldn't need. If going through both boxes together, I really have a hard time believing I'm going to need more than that. Maybe a month worth of wearing these kind of things in bed or walking around is probably all I'm going to need. So anyways, the Always brand cost me $6.64. That was a little bit, that was probably the more, that was the highest costing one out of them all for 22 pads. Which is kind of funny to think that it actually was more expensive than the irritation-free ones, because the irritation-frees, which got 28 in it, were $4.97. So definitely quite the difference going on there. So anyways, these were more of your important things. that was the things that I was really focusing on, and it was definitely why I wanted my girlfriends there with me to be able to shop for that stuff and give me their opinions, because I knew they knew better than me, since I still get nervous looking at those things, even though as far as my shopping experience goes, I pretty much just go around in those areas and everyone just kind of shrugs their shoulders, because it's like, it's just another one of the girls shopping. Anyways, I'm not going to get into a long discussion video about this, so there you go. $71.74 worth of shopping supplies. And I really honestly feel like it didn't take me that long to go through that at all. Oh, by the way, there is bananas on that order too, so in case the math doesn't make sense, that would exactly be why there's bananas on the order. So anyways, I will see everybody next time. This video's gotten plenty long enough, but I definitely believed it was a very informative video that I think would be important to anybody who's going to be going through any of this stuff in the future. So anyways, I will see everybody next time, and do not forget to like and subscribe. I will be uploading more videos as I get closer to this thing. As you know, 3 weeks, 6 days, and I can't even begin to think, like, what's this going to look like when I get closer, or even what's my results going to look like. So anyways, I will see you later. Bye now.